This is Tracey Marshall from Travels with Tracey, and we are traveling through the Middle Ages. With each podcast, we explore new and exciting destinations specifically for mature travelers. That is, travelers that are between 35 and 70. That's my specialty, or what I like to do the most. These travelers are more into relishing their time than staying at budget hotels and partying all night. I enjoy people who want to experience where they are, be it an adventure trip, let's say whitewater rafting in Costa Rica, or those who enjoy the cobblestone streets of a quaint French town, sitting in a cafe and enjoying fine wine and cheese, or hiking to Machu Picchu. Those are the people I identify with. Today, I have a guest speaker. Her name is Lani. She is a client of mine, a very sweet and wonderful client who I really appreciate. And she loves adventure, she loves travel, and she's been to many places. One of the favorite places she's been to is Africa. When we think of Africa, the dark continent, ooh, scary. But she had a marvelous, marvelous time. And she's going to talk to us a little bit about her experience and her adventures in wonderful Africa. So I'm going to ask her a few questions. She's going to respond, and we're going to take it from there. So Lani, tell me, what was your best experience?
I think the best experience was probably just going, because the anticipation was unbelievable. We've traveled quite a bit, and I would go again tomorrow. It was that good. I think the best experience was one of the last nights in the Kalahari. We slept under the stars in the salt pans, and that means under the stars, no tent, no nothing, and it was just beautiful. There was a full moon, which sometimes in the night became annoying because you'd wake up and you wanted to turn the lights out.
Oh, yeah.
But you could pull the stars off the sky, and it was just truly amazing just being out there. And we went at the beginning of their winter. So during the evening hours, it was down into 42 degrees or so.
Oh.
It was pretty chilly.
Yeah, that would be.
Yeah. They covered you with a canvas, and they gave you a hot water bottle to put at your feet. And it was marvelous. We hesitated to do it, and that was the best part.
And that's one thing I don't think most people think about Africa, is that it does get very cold then, 42 degrees.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing to know.
It was warm in the daytime. It got in the low to mid 80s, I would say. Mm-hmm. And given the time that we were there, May, early June, that's the beginning of their winter. So it wasn't as cold as it gets, but it was chilly at night.
Oh, but it sounds perfect during the day.
It was great.
And I do want to say that Lani took a Tauk tour, another company that I would highly recommend. Yeah. Of course, they are a little bit on your higher end, but you get what you pay for.
You really do.
Okay. And what countries did you visit?
We were in Zambia, Botswana, and South Africa. Mm-hmm. And the camping was done in Botswana.
Mm-hmm. And did you need any kind of vaccinations before you left?
We were pretty much up on everything. We needed to upgrade our tetanus. You could take some malaria pills before you start. But that was it. We weren't into the yellow fever area at all, which is much further north. So we felt pretty safe. We didn't have to get the rabies vaccine that is recommended in some other countries. So it was a piece of cake.
Ah, it sounds lovely. And can you tell me, when you landed, when you saw the airport, because I think, Africa, it's going to be so crowded and people pushing and chickens wandering around, is this the stereotype? Or?
Well, yeah, I didn't see the first chicken.
Okay.
The Johannesburg airport was pretty easy to get around in. And we had one little glitch where we went the wrong direction, and we couldn't really get somebody to help us until we finally found a person who said, no, you go to the left instead of the right. Anderson Cooper was on our flight, and I was following him, and I decided he was going a different direction, so we ended up in the wrong place.
I would have followed Anderson Cooper.
But it was pretty easy. Okay. We had a little glitch coming out of New York City, which you helped us with, because we were delayed, and we had a tight connection in Johannesburg. And thanks to you were a step ahead of us in letting them know that we may not arrive in Livingstone at the right time, but it all worked out.
Good. I'm glad. And you needed a visa for one country, I believe.
We did, for Zambia, and you don't get that until you're there. Mm-hmm. So you get that before you actually leave the airport. And it was, I believe it was $50 US.
Okay.
And piece of cake. You stood in line, you paid your money, you got it. They put it in your passport, and you were
That's
done.
great.
Yeah.
So the worst airport would probably be JFK. Well,
sure.
we can understand that as Americans. All right. Well, we're going to tune out at this part, and we're going to continue here with our next podcast and our continuation with Lani, her adventures in Africa. And for our next podcast, we'll continue on to some of the dangerous animals she might have seen.
Good.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks for traveling through the Middle Ages with me. I would love to continue this conversation with you, so just head to my Facebook page at facebook.com/travelswithtracey. I have a link to my page in the podcast notes. Don't forget to subscribe to this podcast on iTunes or your favorite podcast player. When you do, my podcast can automatically upload to your smartphone. Safe travels!